Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload we'll be talking about a storm system that will be making its way across the northeastern United States, and I will as well be providing a brief look and a long range and show you that there's actually a pretty large storm potential in the future. If you guys are new to this channel, hello and welcome. Check out the video. If you like what you're seeing, consider subscribing, and if you are a returning viewer, liking the video would be absolutely awesome. So regardless, let's get into this. Alright, so yesterday I got a few comments regarding my calling of this a winter storm, and by the way, if you have any thing to say about my channel, any comments, please leave them always down in the comments, unless, you know, it's like completely full of profanity and slurs. I won't take it into consideration, but any, you know, even harsher critique I will take. And yesterday some people were saying that I shouldn't have called this a winter storm because of the few amount of people that will be, relatively speaking, impacted by the actual winter side of this. So for today's video, I just resorted to calling it a storm, not really a winter storm. Hopefully that clears things up. It's going to be a powerful storm with a wintry side still. Let's start off by looking at the European model, and for that actually I want to go to a different website. So I want to look at this website more than the pivotal weather due to the fact that it has a extended view of Canada, so that's always a good thing since I try including as much of the forecasting area as possible, so this website makes that possible. So let's take a look at the European model and take a glance at this. Quickly set it to precipitation and see what it shows for the snow system. Notice that we have right now, it's in the making right now across the northern Great Lakes, slowly starting to develop showers and really light rain, no significant severe weather of any sort, and this continues to intensify in strength. You can see some of the rain showers do get a bit strong at times, especially near the lakes, with some of that convective energy. And notice that it moves across the northeast, brings rain and shower, and across southern Canada, really most of the major metropolitan areas will get hit by some rain and showers. While you won't really see snow on the backside of it, you may see a bit of a grapple, some snow showers because of the cold air that's pretty available. And just want to quickly run this forward and show you that as this storm moves to the north and east, it doesn't really move out into the ocean just straight up. It kind of takes a curve and shifts to a pretty almost like a straight vertical line, and that's the track it takes. You can see it dumps pretty heavy snow across Labrador and Quebec, so you know, this is why I was calling it a winter storm, but that's fair enough because again, most of the people that are watch this channel don't come from there, but you know, I could still talk about it without calling it a winter storm. Notice that pretty heavy snow occurring across those locations, and I do want to point out that there will be a little clipper coming across Friday in the next couple of days across really Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and into Quebec, or into Ontario. That thing could drop a bit of snow into further south locations, central Ontario, and further into the south and parts of the northeast. But you can see this snowstorm, while that's occurring, is still spinning up there. Lots of snow potential. And honestly, I'll just include both of these at once to show you. They're kind of connected, really. This one thrives off the energy that one brought up. Notice we do have also a tropical system in the south. That's something to watch for. Again, for an official forecast, go to the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, and NOAA. Do not refer to YouTube channels as official weather info for anything other than a bit of a glancing view at the weather. And you know, that's really why I make these videos. For the fun of it, I don't think anyone should take these too seriously. Notice that as we look into the forecast, I mentioned how we will talk about the big storms. You look at that. We have a big storm coming onto the northwest this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I mentioned that before, and really things have stayed consistent, so that's good news. This tropical storm energy continues to move to the south and east. We see snow across the mountains in Wyoming, and we see a large storm spawn. And each model is showing the GFS parallel, the European, the Canadian. All of them are showing some large storms. Some are showing 2 to 3 large storms. Some are showing 1 large storm, but in a different format. So a lot of differences. But you can see we have a snowy side to it as well. And we could see, again, quite a bit of precipitation floating around. Let's take a look at the total snowfall accumulations up until this Sunday, this weekend, with that major snowstorm, if you will, across Labrador and Newfoundland, and the rain across the northeast, as well as that little clipper that we saw moving through southern Canada. I'll just include it in the same forecast. So notice that right now, not much going on. Again, mostly rain. We do have some showers, lake effect snow across Hudson Bay, but then we quickly see an area of pink and purple colors blow up across Labrador, Newfoundland, Quebec. And as we push this further and further into time, we see we get quite a bit of snow. Definitely a couple of locations reaching into the 40 to 50 inch marks. So definitely a big system. And notice that we do see that clipper occurring, and that could drop a decent amount of snow, maybe 3 to 4 inches across central Ontario into central southern Quebec. So I know I do have folks living here that watch my channel, and even up in these regions. So definitely something to watch for. And notice as we push into the extreme long range, we see more snow develop across the southern plains of Canada with that system, and across the mountains of the US, which is very good news. They were dry, and some locations seeing upwards of 80 inches across the mountains. Let's go back to Tropical Tidbits. This is a very good website. I use it in every single video practically, and it's free. It is a great weather model website. So if you just want to look at it, just type this in right here, tropicaltidbits.com, and it'll take you to this website. Notice that, again, the GFS has a bit of a slightly different solution. The storm is a bit weaker. Still, though, the GFS has adjusted more to the European rather than the European adjusted to the GFS, which usually is the case, as the European is kind of the better model. Notice that the GFS develops a pretty strong system, and it's stronger than it has been showing it, say, even like a day ago, 18Z Monday. It was a much lesser developed system, and at this point it's stronger, a bit more of the wind, some more rain showers, and obviously stronger snow system to the north out of that. I do want to point out, again, I've been talking about this, the winds will be pretty strong with this event, and mainly to do with the high pressure and the low pressure kind of working together into creating a really strong avenue of winds. High pressures, they spin clockwise, low pressures, they spin counterclockwise, and what this does is they converge into one big wind event, and these could lead to very strong winds across portions of the Northeast, which we'll have to watch for. They could be damaging. Thankfully, they're offshore, and they're not blowing onshore, so beach erosion shouldn't really be a problem or any of that sort. It will most likely push the water away from the beaches. And then again, you can see that the GFS does agree with that little clipper further to the south. The larger cities getting impacted by this, and not as strong though by itself, 987. Though definitely a bit more snowy aspect to it further south. We have that tropical storm moving to the north and east, and then we have that system, which you can see the GFS also supportive of a system just in its own little way, different from the European. And honestly, the GFS and all the other models are constantly switching their view on this. So let's just go back to a random model run, 18Z Sunday, so 48 hours ago. Let's see what it showed. You can see it showed a large system and many more along the way. So it's going to change, and we're still looking at it, but definitely a potential for some interesting events to unfold. Let's take a look at the GFS parallel. This model has been a strong advocate of showing a pretty powerful storm across the Northeast. That's winter storm that we're talking about. Notice it does get pretty strong, and actually it keeps it a bit weaker than the GFS, which is weird because now the GFS is showing a bit of a stronger storm, and this model kind of has just remained the same. But the point is that the GFS really significantly altered its forecast. Notice the GFS parallel does include the snow, but it's not as impressive as it used to be. But the European and GFS now are showing what this model was showing. So again, a lot of back and forth, undecisive models. That's just kind of life with the models. Notice we do have a potentially strong tropical disturbance, hurricane. I don't want to use that word, but most likely at this point moving into the Gulf Coast, at least according to this model. The European is a bit more reluctant on that. Again, referred to official professionals for that information. And I noticed that this storm, this GFS model, really just shows a big storm, and not just one but several throughout the long range. We have a snow system across the plains possibly. This seems a bit far-stretched. Obviously, this doesn't look like if it will actually come together, as the model's been all over the place, but it gives you an indication of the possibilities that the models are throwing out there. And at this point, we do have, you could see the GFS parallel showing a pretty cold scenario. This doesn't seem likely at all. Quite frankly, it's just not cold enough for this. And again, that's over-exaggerated, but it's just giving you an example of the spread among the models. You can see this is the Canadian, and it's showing a different scenario in terms of this storm next week. More rain, less winter precip, and different setup. But what I do want to talk about again is obviously that winter storm that is going to be occurring this weekend. So, or this midweek. Intensifies pretty quickly, though it doesn't do awful intensification like the GFS is showing now. And though, again, dumping still quite a bit of snow. The Canadian model is often a good model to kind of look at and compare with other models, not really just to base a forecast off of. Fortunately, it's not that good. And as we take this into forward, you can see similar thing. We have that tropical storm from the south combined with this system and then form another storm. So a lot of differences and a lot of confusing weather kind of going on. So we'll definitely have to monitor all of this. We could start looking at the NAM 12KM, the higher resolution models with that weekend or midweek early weekend snow system across the I almost said Great Plains, across southeastern Canada and the northeast. Notice that right now, currently, the NAM 12KM, by the way, if you're new to this, is a North American model, 12 kilometer. It's a relatively good short range model, though it sometimes does have a cold bias, so it shows more snow than it normally would fall. You can see it's currently developing. It will continue moving across the Great Lakes and into the northeast at around the tonight into early Wednesday into early tomorrow and through the day, late evening hours tomorrow, and then it explodes, if you will, across the northeast into a large system. And to be honest, the NAM does a pretty good job. It doesn't show snow where sometimes it would show, because this model has been very, very well known for its cold bias. Again, notice tight isobars, strong winds, and we do have that little clipper. So I don't think this has the North American view. It does not. Oh, it does have the southeastern Canada view. That is actually wonderful. I want to see if it has the total snowfall accumulations. Indeed, it does. Notice that all models are showing a pretty significant amount of snow. This is in centimeters, so this isn't, like 40 inches. In inches, this would be around 20 to 24, maybe a bit less. Still definitely a large event, a large snow system, and 40 centimeters at any time of the year is pretty significant. While it is further to the north, it still is 40 centimeters. Let's take a look at the National Weather Service and what it has to say in terms of the winds for the Northeast. And as I said, for the past few days, there would be high wind watches, and actually right across the Boston area, there's a high wind warning. So that is definitely not good news. The winds could be gusting pretty significantly. Let's go to, let's just go to Boston, the bigger city. And you can see they have a wind warning. Let's see if they have any details about this. Yeah, wind gusts as high as 50 miles per hour. So again, while you guys may not be seeing the snow or much rain, the winds will be just impacting a good portion of the Northeast, and even northern Maine will definitely see the winds. Except as of right now, they are still a bit further away from the event, so they haven't had any warnings or watches, but they definitely will. As you can see, Thursday, wind gusts 17 to 20 with a sustained wind 70 to 20 with gusts as high as 31. That is definitely significant, and we'll have to watch that. And then obviously as you get into Canada, you will see some pretty heavy snow. So that's basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. See ya. Bye.